Blac Chyna is once again in the news, and just like always, it's not for a good reason. She has once again been accused of holding someone against their will, and this time, the victim is alleging that Chyna held her captive because she was going to traffic her. But some people are calling out the victim for trying to chase clout, so what is really going on here? Is Chyna really involved in some shady business, or is there something else at play here? There is a lot to unpack in this drama, but first we need to talk about the alleged victim, who is a social media influencer known as Ava Louise. She has more than 400,000 followers on Instagram, and she also works as an OnlyFans model. While Ava's name might not immediately pop into our minds, some of her previous antics and stunts on social media will definitely pop. During the height of the coronavirus pandemic in March 2020, she went viral for licking an airplane toilet seat, and she tried to get people to do the same by calling it the Coronavirus Challenge. Luckily, this stunt never really took off because most people know better than to do that, even without there being a pandemic. But that was not the last time she was in the news, because when Kim Kardashian announced that she had filed for divorce from Kanye West, Ava started a rumor that the real reason Kim had filed for divorce was that Kanye had been cheating on her with YouTuber Jeffree Star. The only reason she made up the rumor was that both Kanye and Jeffree lived in Wyoming, even though there was no evidence that they had even interacted. She later admitted that she'd made up the entire rumor because she was bored. But that's not all, because she then claimed that Kardashian momager Kris Jenner had sent her a cease and desist letter because of the rumor that she'd made up of Kim and Kanye, and that Kris had threatened to sue her. Kris Jenner then came forward to deny Ava's claims, saying, "We have zero clue who this person is and have not taken legal action. However, if she continues to spread lie after lie and a fake letter in a desperate cry for public attention, which she has admitted on record she's seeking, then we will have no choice but to take legal action on principle." Making up fake stories in an effort to monetize and get attention, which has a direct effect on people's lives, is not okay. Perhaps she should spend that time instead seeking the help she clearly needs to deal with her issues. Kris's real threat to sue Ava clearly scared her, because she deleted her post and posted a video on her Instagram stories admitting that she made up the entire thing, including the Jeffree and Kanye affair.
Really not even getting sued. I made this entire scandal up. There is literally not one bit of truth to anything I have said. I just tricked the entire world into talking about me again because I was on a lot of Adderall and bored.
She also admitted that she only did it for the money.
How much money I made off of like this whole Jeffree, Kanye, whatever stuff I did. $15,000 in the past 3 days. $15,000 in 3 days.
Now let's talk about her recent claims about Blac Chyna, because she is now claiming that Chyna tried to kidnap and traffic her. So what really happened? Well, it's kind of hard to say, because neither Chyna nor Ava are exactly credible, because both of them have been involved in pretty wild scandals in the past that don't exactly make them trustworthy. But Ava made a TikTok video where she exposed Chyna for allegedly holding her hostage.
Chyna and I met on Instagram. As you can see, we were DMing. I ended up sending her my number. She FaceTimed me at 3 a.m. LA time. While Chyna was FaceTiming with me and Alex, she invited me over to her house at 4 a.m. In hindsight, going to Blac Chyna's house at 4 a.m. was probably stupid, but I'm me. I love a good adventure, and come on, who's gonna turn down going to Blac Chyna's house and meeting Dream Kardashian? Long story short, I get there, I have to sign an NDA, but this NDA was unlike any other NDA I've ever signed in my life. I had to put down all kinds of identifying features about myself on this NDA, like my eye color, my hair color, my height, what I was wearing. Right after I signed the NDA is when Chyna very intimidatingly said, "All the stories you read about me kidnapping people are true." For 6 hours, Chyna held me hostage. She drank an entire bottle of Casamigos in front of me. She wouldn't let me be alone. Every time she had to use the bathroom, she would make me go into the bathroom with her. She kept telling me that I had to stay until 10 a.m. because that's when Dream was going to be out of the home, and she was going to go crazy on me at 10 a.m. She kept saying things like that. At about 9:45 a.m., Chyna FaceTimed some woman named Donna, who told me she was in the escorting industry on FaceTime.
Chyna has been involved in more than her fair share of controversies, but very few of them have ever been as concerning or disturbing as this one. But because of Ava's history of chasing clout with celebrity names, there are a lot of people who are doubting her story, claiming that she could be lying as boldly as she did in the past. But interestingly, this is not the first time that Chyna has been accused of holding women against their wills and forcing them to stay and do what she tells them to do. Back in December 2021, she was was exposed for holding a woman hostage at the Sheraton Grand Sacramento Hotel in California, and there was video evidence to prove that as well. According to the victim and her friend, they met Chyna at the hotel and she invited them to her room because she was having a small party. The friend spoke to The Sun, saying, "Everyone was enjoying themselves, the drinks were flowing and the energy in the suite was real good. Suddenly out of nowhere, Chyna just yelled at my friend to shut up or she'd beat us up. The vibe immediately changed, so at that point we thought it was best to leave, but when I went to walk out, she shut the door behind me and kept my friend in the room." It gets worse because Chyna held the woman hostage for about 20 minutes, even though her friend was banging on the door and demanding that Chyna open the door. He had to get help from her entourage, who spoke to Chyna.
"Why won't you let her out?" "Yeah, she's crying."
Chyna!
Come on, Jen, let's go.
Yeah, and you're gonna stand outside?
No, we're not standing nowhere, we're leaving.
At the time, her lawyer also denied the hostage allegations, saying, "This story is false. The latest false accusation of criminal conduct is just the most recent in a long line of false accusations against Blac Chyna. The video being circulated on social media shows that Blac Chyna did not hold anyone against their will." With Chyna's past allegations, social media is also divided because some people believe Ava, like this person that said, "That girl lies a lot, but I can believe Chyna would do something like this." Someone else commented, "I honestly believe this lady. Blac Chyna seems to be quite capable of something like this. She has a bad attitude towards people, especially anyone not in her circle or on her level. I really feel for this lady and anyone else who ever experiences anything like this. These types of creatures don't belong on this earth." On the other hand, there are people who don't trust Ava because of her problematic past and because she has admitted to lying on celebrities for clout before. Someone commented, "Anyone who's ever met Ava Louise or knows anyone who's ever been acquainted with her knows that this is not true. Girl is a huge liar and a clout chaser and a very morally bankrupt individual. If it became beneficial for her to be racist, she'd do that too. That's how low she is." Well, Blac Chyna has finally addressed the situation, and she completely denies the claims. Her lawyer, J.D. Sanchez, sent Ava a cease and desist letter, and he addressed the situation saying, "Your false allegations that Miss White engaged in such heinous criminal conduct is defamatory per se under California law. In fact, you admit in one of your TikTok videos that you intentionally made up and disseminated a false rumor about a relationship between Kanye West and Jeffree Star, and then revealed that the joke kind of gave me such a huge platform that I'm able to meet people like Blac Chyna now because of my following and who I now know." So Blac Chyna is using Ava's past against her and attacking her credibility, saying that she's only trying to get more followers. It looks like this is a fight that Ava is not backing down from because she also hired lawyers who have replied to Blac Chyna's denial. The lawyer said, "First, Ava did not make any false or defamatory statements regarding Miss Angela White, aka Blac Chyna. Ava stands by her account of what happened during the encounter with Miss White. She has been consistent in her position of the events to friends, associates, and law enforcement, including the FBI and the Los Angeles Police Department." They continued, "After review of the matter, we believe the facts will show that on August 10, 2022, Miss White invited Ava to her home in Los Angeles, California under the guise of discussing a music collaboration. During the encounter, it became increasingly clear to Ava that Miss White had no intention of discussing a professional collaboration, but rather she was being set up for involvement in some type of non-consensual encounter. Miss White and her associates made numerous references to terms such as bottom B and fish, which Ava later learned pertained to the trade. They also said Ava was so upset and shaken by the events that she contacted the FBI trafficking hotline within hours after the incident. Ava made an official report to the FBI on the following day. "Our client does not take these events lightly and remains ready and willing to take any and all actions necessary to preserve her rights and protect herself from any harm. She has reported the incident to law enforcement and is letting them handle the matter from this point forward." Ava standing her ground against Chyna and her lawyers makes her look a little bit more credible compared to the Kris Jenner situation where she immediately admitted to making the whole thing up. So does this mean that she is telling the truth this time? Well, we're gonna have to wait for the law to figure that out, and hopefully she and Chyna will have their day in court. But in the meantime, check out this next video.